I'm holding court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you around back when
So you coming from Crenshaw and Slauson, which is the notorious 60's hood.
Yeah,
you know
Rollin
what I mean?
60's.
Rollin 60's. So how was it, you know what I mean? You seem like you came from a good, loving, supportive household, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying? But at the
definitely.
end of the day, you got to go outside. So now outside you have this gang element. And I take it you grew up in the 70s, 80s, more or less.
Yes.
So
yes.
it was at an all-time high, gang banging. So how did you navigate those murky waters with the gang bang influence and all of that?
You know, in 1971, I was about 3 or 4 years old. So we're talking about a lot of togetherness. You know what I'm saying? You know, the OGs in my neighborhood was still solid. They still respected their elders.
Right.
And that's another reason why I cling to them, because I'm the oldest, but I still needed a bigger brother figure. And so growing up in the neighborhood, you know, seeking with my journey to be a musician way before a producer, or even knowing I was going to become a producer, they really encouraged me to, just stay focused, They seen that I wasn't interested at that time, or they didn't even know if I had the ability or willingness to be involved with the game.
Participate.
Right. I just had the right kind of people who had morals with the culture and the lifestyle of Crippin'.
Right.
And but I did see violence from here and there, but on my block it was almost like a safe rest haven of, to be able to live and be all me as a kid. Every once in a while you maybe ever hear the gunshots or seeing homies come home, bruised or shot or whatnot. I never really seen the killing on my block.
Right.
Because that would have messed me up tremendously, wanting to be, a producer or anything on the block. So
yeah. So it's funny because my experience was kind of somewhat similar to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me coming from Kansas City, my neighborhood was kind of, I guess if you will, colonized by Crips. You know what I mean? Because back in the 80s, a lot of the gangs migrated. You know what I'm saying? Hustling. And it's one of those things where my household was loving. You know what I'm saying? But I had to go outside. So now you go outside and you got to deal with the element, you know what I mean? So I don't never consider myself a gang banger, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't, active like that, you know what I'm saying? But you're affiliated and you get sucked in. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to be active some type of way.
Exactly.
You talking about your manhood for one, and then you got, your peers, your girls on the block. So, they trying to see where you at and
where
you
your
being
heart
able
is.
to squabble, can you squabble up?
Exactly.
Can you hold your own if you got something important like a bike or something of value with you? Can you
protect
hold?
it?
Yeah, can you protect yourself?
It?
And can you talk? Do you know how to hold
the lingo?
Down?
Yeah,
the whole
for sure.
get down. So of course I adopted it all, and but I knew that coming outside the block that I would have to put that in perspective and not speak that same language going into another place of business or just another household that wasn't familiar with what I was raised with. So, but I still took it with me. I just never had to fake the funk or put it on like a costume. But it definitely helped me to be able to speak and have a discernment ability to see what's what, and especially when you're going into another neighborhood.
Exactly.
And you wearing certain apparel or you carrying a certain persona that seemed like you could be from this this particular area.
Did you ever have situations where you got pressed? Or you got banged on, you know what I'm saying? Where you was kind of, because it puts you in a fucked up position. Because it's like because I've been in that position where it's like, okay, I'm not active, but because you pressing me, now you trying to make it sound it's something else now. You know what I mean?
By not having by having my block as my big brother, sometimes you'll find yourself doing some things and not understanding the consequences, and make you want to claim your brotherhood with this neighborhood in a situation, but then you don't understand the repercussions. You don't know they got someone else in another room with knives and guns, or just another member that would come and accompany them to come whoop your ass, or just take you out. So,
how did you deal with getting pressed? Did you just kind of de-escalate it, or did you stand on it, or you were forced to stand on it?
No, I didn't have to stand on it because I understood who I was. And I always came with this joyous vibe where I was approachable. I never had to really deal with the adversities of them wanting to tear my ass a piece. You know what I'm saying? But it was a few times where brothers was persistent in doing something because they already put the energy out there, and they got their peers with the peer pressure going on, and they like, well, damn, I can't just let down. I still want to press him to see if he's going to burst, with some information that we really want to hear. We want to hear that he's from the opposite gang. And I never really dealt with that. It was really more so the bullies within my own neighborhood that I dealt with. And when I seen that that wasn't my get down, and I didn't have no problem with just being the best of me,
Man, that's
and
dope,
I had
bro.
my gift along with me to display my reason for being there. I'm always carrying some records. I always had a radio with a cassette playing mixes of that nature. So once they seen that I wasn't a problem, then they just gave me the pass, and I didn't have no problem with that, because if I would have portrayed anything else at that time, it would have been a problem.
That's dope though, bro, because that shows really the authenticity of your character, even as a young guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always respected, a lot of times, quote unquote street niggas and want to be tough niggas, they try to somewhat look down on what they perceive as square niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I could always respect a guy that was just him. You know what I mean? He ain't about no bullshit, but he's still a man, and he stand up when he need to stand up.
Then it's funny
because
that
a lot of times the niggas that be putting all that on, they don't really be that.
Yeah, it took It took a while to find out the difference of the two, and what to do about those situations, because you got a lot of G's in the hood who's with the ignorant shit and perpetuating the stupid shit, because they feel like it's entertainment, and I hated that. I seen that too, but then I knew what crew to gravitate to. Like I said, that had power, principles, and morals, and a clear distinction of who was who on the block, and they cared enough to say, "Hey, don't fuck with him."
Yeah,
he belong on with us, because that's funny that we're talking about that, about different characters of that walk of life. In our hood, we got like two parts, if not three, of the hood. You got the Overhills, what I'm saying? That's almost like Beverly Hills. So they rich kids.
That's like Baldwin Hills.
Yeah,
and all
Baldwin
that.
Hills,
Yeah.
Slauson and Overhill,
Yeah.
Fairfax.
Yeah.
The upper echelon of, growing up, almost, considered middle class.
I almost bought a house in View Park. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then I went to Encino. But I knew what it was. My old lady was like, "Oh, it's beautiful over here. I want to live around black people." I said, "Yeah, that's cool, but you know what I'm saying? Right down the street, it's
right
some
down the
bullshit."
street, it's
you
some
know
bullshit.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's one thing that I learned from my neighborhood is that helped me tremendously. Like, that was like ghetto or street etiquette. You know what I'm saying? And I knew what to look for and what apparel to wear. Now, I did have problems where they couldn't distinguish, from what I was wearing, because I never really wore it. Like, I wore my khakis right. I had the similar apparel, but not all of it, because I was a fashion guy, so I would mix fashion with my G shit.
Yeah.
And the hood loved that, because I seen them like that, you know. So I just wanted to diversify my personality and everything. So, but they, you would have that peculiar thing like, is he he kind of fly, but he could still be an enemy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all that helped, you know, or seeing someone say, hey, Cat or Kevin, you know, that helped a lot. You know, okay, cool, he cool. So if you didn't know where you was going into other neighborhoods, and you didn't have the right confidence and a sense of a focusedness of getting there, and getting out the way, because anything else you're gonna be prime.
So you
rib,
basically
you know?
had
you're gonna
that,
be in the lion's den within a millisecond of a second. Just like as soon as they see you, hey, come here, what's up?
Yeah, you fool.
Where you from?
Yeah, you fool.
You know, and if you look like, oh man, damn, I'm trying to get it together, I will prepare for this. And we went through all that, but it helped me understand who I am and what they are, and what we got in common and what we don't have in common.
Right.
And all that prepared me for the industry as well.